If you've been enjoying our podcast as much as we have and hope that we continue past 50 episodes, here's your chance. Here's your chance to help make that happen. By becoming a Patreon subscriber, not only will you help the Little House on the Prairie 50th Anniversary podcast to live on, but you'll also get exclusive content just for you.
Here's what's in store for you. Join monthly Q&A sessions where you can ask us about anything. Whether it's about our work, personal interests, or advice on your own projects, we're here to connect and share.
Enjoy unique content created specifically for Patreon subscribers, including bonus segments from our shows.
You'll have a say in what we create, and you'll have a voice in future content.
Benefit from exclusive discounts on merchandise and entries into special giveaways. It's our way of saying thank you for your support.
Receive personalized shout-outs in videos, podcasts, or social media posts.
Because your support on Patreon allows us to dedicate more resources to creating the content that you love.
You could join the Little House 50th Anniversary podcast community on Patreon and become a Prairie patron for just $5 a month. We thank you so much for your continued support, and we cannot wait to share our ongoing journey with you on Patreon.
We are extremely grateful for the support of VisitSimiValley.com and the city of Simi Valley's belief in Little House on the Prairie and their support of the Little House 50th Anniversary podcast.
Discover the charm of Simi Valley, California, the home of the prairie. Visit Simi Valley, where adventure meets history and the spirit of the prairie comes alive. Explore the Ronald Reagan Presidential Library, step aboard Air Force One, enjoy stunning hikes and savor delicious local cuisine. Whether you're here for a weekend getaway or a family vacation, Simi Valley offers something for everyone and is only 30 minutes from Los Angeles. Plan your visit today and experience the best of Simi Valley. Go to visitsimivalley.com for more details. Your adventure awaits in Simi Valley.
Hello, bonnet heads. How are ya? This is Pamela Bob. I'm your host, creator and star of Living on a Prairie, and I am here with, she looks very smart today, with her glasses down by her nose. Yes, it's our beloved prairie bitch, Ms. Alison Arngrim. Hello, Alison. Studious.
That's sort of a sexy secretary look.
Yeah.
Right there.
These are great glasses. I love these.
And Dean, you can do your sexy secretary now with your glasses.
Well, no, that
There
doesn't
you go.
really work. I'm the
That's
that's
more
the
professorial.
bookish professorial thing. Yeah.
He's the dean of the school.
Yeah. I'm the dean of the dean. So I can actually, if I take off my glasses, I can barely see either of you. So
Keep him on.
Yeah, I'm
That's
keeping him
right.
on.
He's my hashtag imaginary boyfriend. All of our hashtag imaginary boyfriends. Dean Butler. Hello, guys. How are you?
hey,
Awesomeness.
how are you? How's everybody?
I'm good. What's going on this week?
Well,
We are
I mean, we are
Scrambling.
hours away from. Well, actually, when this breaks, this will be the day before our
Columbia.
event. If we, day before Columbia. So that's what we're really excited about. I mean, I'm going to hold up our official poster here. This is the poster, and here is our official tote bag
Oh, I love the tote bag.
that we have. Yeah. So we've done a poster and a tote bag, and there's a cap and a whole bunch of other things that we've done. I
Merch.
think Columbia is going to be just leafy and beautiful. It's going to be sort of in the mid 80s.
Wow.
And if everything is holding the way we're looking at the advanced forecast, it should be just absolutely gorgeous. There's going to be Little House music playing on the streets of Columbia, and of course we'll have the train on Saturday night, and our meet and greet sessions, and beautiful pop-up banners that Orlando De La Paz has designed for behind each cast member. And it's going to be, I think it's going to be a really lovely event. We have rarely gone into a space that is so authentic for what we're doing, which is great.
It's kind of, to me, like Simi is the sequel, because we filmed in Simi and we recreated
Yes.
sets, so it looked filmed. Well, what did we do? Once a year, we all loaded up the gang and got on a plane and went up to Sonora area to Twain Harte and Angels Camp in the mountain. It's where, the Lord is my shepherd, they camp out, on and on and on, Fool's Gold, endless episodes where, we shot up there.
That's right, Fool's Gold. So here...
Yes, penny for gold, penny for gold!
Yeah, so this image here, that right here, Orlando did...
Get your toe
There it is.
There. So we did it's a combination of the panning for gold and the Laura cross from the Lord is my shepherd. So we did a combo thing there. This one, the driving shot is sort of the Almanzo carriage going through Columbia. Now we never saw that shot, but we created that shot. So because this Wells Fargo building is a central piece of the Columbia, the Columbia architecture. So, and then of course, where are we here? At the top, where is there? No, where is it? Oh, maybe it didn't get. So we have the train. Sorry, we didn't have Jonathan's Mountain. That is on the poster right here. So he did such a beautiful job with this. I think people are going to love it. We obviously wanted to be inspired.
Location. We're back at a real filming location.
Yeah, exactly.
And the memories. I did an interview the other day, and I said the big thing of why you need to buy a ticket is to watch all of us have flashbacks and memories.
Totally.
Now going, I remember when the time we did that, because it's
Yeah, no, I think it's going to be really fun, and a beautiful location, and everybody in Gold Rush Country has been so welcoming and positive about this, and so it's going to be fun. We are starting the second half century of Little House Love in Columbia.
Crazy. I know, when you put it that way.
Yeah,
geez.
I mean, and that's something, the second half century of Little House Love.
As you both wear your glasses on the
I
tip
know,
of your
yeah,
nose.
exactly, because I can't see without them. So, and I just want to mention before we step into the episode that coming up in July is Laura Palooza in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and if people want to know about that, they can check out liwlra.org. This is an academic. This is really the more academic side of Laura. It's a small group, but they are passionate about Laura, and if you're in that category but don't know about this, Laura Palooza is really, it's a deep, immersive dive into all things Laura. And one of the fun things that's happening as it's happening at our event is in Sioux Falls, and this is in July 9th and 10th in Sioux Falls. There's going to be a screening of Little House Homecoming. Trip Friendly, who's the owner of the Little House franchise, is going to be there along with the showrunner for the new Little House on the Prairie series, who's going to be there talking about what they're doing. And I think that's going to be a really fascinating conversation. So I'm going to be there. Jonathan Parker's going to be there. Alison, I know you talked about being there, but you can't. You're traveling.
I'm going to be, if you're in the other end of the country and you can't make it there, swing on by Provincetown, take the little ferry from Boston.
Go to a very different experience.
Yes.
Very different experience. I'm doing 5 shows at the Red Room in July in P-Town. Red Room, fabulous club. It's underneath the ice cream parlor, easy to find. After my show, you can go get ice cream. It's fabulous.
I'd love that.
And it's a really fun place, and I will be telling many tales, naughty and otherwise, and it'll be a hoot and a holler, and and it'll be really fun. And there's great pizza and ice cream. P-Town's a fun place. It's crazy shows. It's like a festival in the summer. It's everyone is doing their show there, so it's almost like a fringe festival of just crazy shows, and from all over the world. There was a guy from England doing this absolutely insane thing on stage when I was there last. So wow. It's wonderful.
Well, we can't wait to hear all about that. Pamela, let's step in here.
Let's do this. Okay, coming up today, I'm very excited about this episode because it was a pleasure to watch. It was so funny. Unlike last week's episode, which was the tearjerker. But this one is a barrel of laughs, and it's Alison at her teenage best. Okay, it's a quirky episode, guys. It's featuring Charlotte Stewart, Miss Beadle, and our beloved Prairie Bitch. But first, produced in the studios of UBN Go in Burbank, California, this is the Little House 50th Anniversary Podcast. Yeah, Alison's tidying up her lipstick. There it is.
Because I can't.
Okay, we're back. Dean, hit it.
Yes.
What episode are we talking about?
Okay,
Yes.
so today's episode is season 4, episode 12. Here Come the Brides. A very, very terrific episode. I'd seen parts of this before. I wasn't encyclopedically familiar with this, but there are moments with Alison and Catherine and all that you, if you're a Little House fan, you can't not know these moments. They are fantastic.
Yeah.
So Here Come the Brides premiered on December 5th, 1977, written by John T. Dugan, who John was such an interesting, quirky guy, little old guy at the time. My recollection is big white mustache, big thick head of white hair. He was really specialized in the funny, quirky episodes during his time on the show. This was directed by William F. Claxton. Bill did a great job.
What do you know? What other episodes he did?
Claxton? Oh my God!
Funny.
Claxton or Dugan?
No, Dugan.
Yeah, I'm sorry. We'd have to
Look it
there
up,
are.
'cause this
Yeah,
is
we'd have to
so
look that up. I did not
funny.
list that.
He did
But
a lot of the funny ones. He did a lot of the funny
Yes, he did do a lot of the funny
It's
ones.
funny,
He was very
probably.
good. My favorite line from the episode: "Nels, make her a widow," and that's like the best line. So, Alison, read us a quick synopsis on what this episode is.
I love this episode so much, and I was so happy I watched it again because, oh my, it's just a display of adolescent rebellion and pouting and sulking and massive hormonal love. It really is Romeo and Juliet. He's just gone berserk.
Massive hormonal love on Little House. That's something right there.
And Nellie has teenage
someone's
hormones.
gotta get it.
Episode. It's the hormones go wild. It's just crazy. When Adam Sims and his son Luke roll into Walnut Grove, they bring more than just their pig farming ways. I'm dying here. Bring chaos. They do. They bring chaos, romance, and a whole lot of overalls. Luke, who's a free-spirited lad who considers shoes optional and overalls formal wear, catches the eye of none other than Nellie Oleson. Yes, that Nellie, Walnut Grove's resident mean girl. Meanwhile, Adam Sims sets his sights on Miss Beadle, the town school teacher. Their courtship is as swift as a prairie wind. Oh, good Lord. Leaving townsfolk and viewers alike wondering if there's something in the well water. Yeah, the women are all very aggressive. The women are so aggressive in this episode. Laura tries to get him. I go after him. It's like, there's something wrong that the women need a man this bad. What is happening? Harriet Oleson, ever the social snob, is horrified by Nellie's affection for a shoeless pig farmer. Her attempts to sabotage the budding romance are as subtle as a stampede. Defying parental disapproval and all common sense, Nellie and Luke elope to Sleepy Eye. That's a romantic place to go.
Oh, yeah.
Is a
Sleepy Eye, the city of love.
Featuring a justice of the peace. Oh my God, the amazing Ivor Francis. Shut up, I read notes about him. Oh my God. Just wants to sleep. And a groom who ends up running from the shotgun of his new mother-in-law. With Nellie's marriage annulled, Miss Beadle and Adam Sims decide to tie the knot as well, making it a 2-for-1 wedding special. Because nothing says prairie romance like impulsive matrimony. And
That is true, actually. I think every single marriage, every single wedding we see on Little House on the Prairies is shot like a
that's interesting.
No, except
Like-
Laura and Almanzo.
That just hit me now.
Everybody else.
Yeah, it's sort of
Grace
interesting.
and Isaiah, Laura and Almanzo. I guess
Yeah.
Mary's was the only one planned, but then there was that damn sandstorm. But then they still got married after.
It's always boom, gotta get married. Love conquers all, except perhaps fashion sense and parental approval.
Who wrote this?
One of my faves, because I am 15 in this episode. So it aired in December, so we shot it a few months before. I would have just turned 15 in January, so I was 15 probably in a few months when we shot
Yeah,
this.
right.
I was super puberty teenage insanity happening. It was hilarious. And so it was so perfect. And now the first time she rebels against her mom.
Yeah.
First time she falls in love. And
Shut up, you scream.
Oh,
I mean, that's
amazing.
quite a scream that you do that. Well, we don't want to get ahead of ourselves.
Go into it. Oh yeah, I go.
Do we want to track this a little bit about how? I mean, because Luke shows up and you are instantly
done.
Instantly smitten.
I do have a note about that. Okay, so first thing that happens is these people get out of this wagon, and they're ordinary. They look exactly like all the other farmers there, with the big foofy hair and overalls and jeans. Kind of 1970s, clearly purchased from the department store overalls. I saw that. I went,
yes, the
correct.
Oshkosh.
I went, the Oshkosh, the gosh. I was like, And he gets out, and he's just average looking dude, cute, and says his dad. But they get out, and immediately Laura is like, "Hi, was she the welcome wagon? What is happening? Why is Laura going up the street?" And she's
so darn eager.
And then I'm like, out of my way. Hey, hi, I'm Nellie Alison. How are you? I'm sorry, I'm 15, so she's just barely 13. This cat is, he's playing, I guess, 16, 17. He's 27. He's 27 years old.
Is he really 27?
He's late 20s. He was late 20s.
Wow.
I have to look him up his birth date, but 25, 6, definitely older than 25, way. And we're children, teenagers, and we're like, we're not just like, gee, he's cute, hi there. We're like, hi, yeah, no, what are you doing later? Like overly aggressive.
For real.
And he's a stranger. He hasn't been, it's not like he's been introduced to the class, and we're like, oh, the new boy Luke. We're like, he just got out of the wagon. They could be there to fix something. We don't know who they are. It could be the plumber. And we're just like, hi. And then Miss Beadle is like, hey there, sailor, to the father. What is going on? Why are these women like assaulting?
It's lonely on the prairie.
Well,
it's very lonely.
How
many new people do they meet? Never.
It speaks to the way that Michael guided the storytelling here, and the way John T. Dugan wrote this one is you just step right into it. Just throw out any sort of pretense about, well, would this happen? Wouldn't it happen? Forget that.
Or any kind of
this is what's happening right now.
Right. Or any kind of swag or subtlety.
No, forget that.
Yeah. No. It's straight in for the kill. There is no swag on the prairie. No one's got game on the prairie.
No.
But it's so, these young girls, these children accosting a grown man who they have not been introduced to. It's like,
so that, just validate me here. That would not happen today, right? That casting a full-grown adult to play, or even kiss, and it was an innocent kiss, but it's a kiss, a minor. That would not happen today.
Coordinators, I remember just even a few years ago, there was a series, I can't remember what it was dramatic, so it was good, and they had a thing where a regular character, who is now 15-ish, had to have a romance. They were growing up, and the casting was the person had to be 15 or 16, and it was like a big deal, and they had to screen test with them, and everybody was on board.
So I'm sorry, how old was the person they were supposed to kiss?
15. The cast.
Okay, so everyone had to be the same.
We need somebody 15. We're not going and snagging some 25-year-old.
Right.
And it was like a huge deal of the thing. And now you have intimacy coordinators. So now if you had a minor character having a romance, they would insist that you brought in another minor, or or if the character that was getting his was really 18 playing younger, anything.
Well, okay, when we get there, I mean, I really want to talk more about, I love that as this progresses quickly, immediately the way it's structured, we step into you just sitting with your mother.
I love this.
And you get that scene where it's so tough to be a rich girl.
Oh, yes. Boo-hoo. So the scene where you have all these women falling over this guy that nobody's met, which is weird right there. And then he comes into school. And here's the other thing. So Miss Beadle is not that freaked out about the bare feet. She should be.
I know.
But she's so in love with his dad. She's like, yes, those shoes. And I'm like, what? And then they make it clear, I don't fancy him. He's not too poor. His dad is a successful pig farmer. Says, I'm happy to go buy him shoes. He just doesn't like them. And everyone goes, okay.
Sure.
I'm like, well, okay, he just.
And it's interesting that Nellie is not fazed by that either.
No, exactly.
She would have been.
She would have said
any
no.
other person.
You know, really,
she was attracted to him.
I hate to say it. Yeah, Nellie was in Heat.
She was in Heat.
Great. No,
Yeah.
we have a
Real.
Jonathan Gilbert moment before we get to the house, or we definitely
Feral.
need to get to the house. Jonathan Gilbert, the brilliant actor, young Jonathan Gilbert, all instinct, everything. So we're sitting there, and it's like, who wants to sit with the new guy, Logue? Me. And I elbow him, and Jonathan slides off that bench. Willy slams into the wall, and slides. Like, what the? We rehearsed that. That was Jonathan's idea. We're sitting there. And we're like, okay, so I'm going to shove you out of the seat. And he's like, okay, wait, do it. And I barely touch him with my elbow, and he
flies out.
And he slams into the wall, and he goes, how's that? Should I do that? Is that good? I'm like, yeah, do that.
It's so funny.
It's great.
That
moment.
kid, the little tiny boy, and he was like, yeah.
I want to say I saw a clip, because, Cozy TV always does these fun clips from Little House on the Prairie, and I think they used that one in one of them, Alison, for a promo for you.
Probably.
Yeah.
So, and then, like I said, the sexual thing that is kind of going on, I said something to him about, well, a game like that deserves a reward. I am 15.
I know!
Was this about the base? This was the baseball.
And yes, I've come to offer candy like I do everyone, but I'm like, her, the double entendres throughout this episode.
Yes.
And what am I doing? I'm like, where was I going with this? I have once again, as you've always said, with the character of Nellie, I'm all in. They say, this is what she's doing. Okay, so she's madly in love with this guy for no apparent reason. Okay, I guess I am. So rather than not notice or try to ignore the vague double entendre here, I went all the way and turned it into some 1950s sex farce where I'm like, that deserves a reward. Just like,
I don't think you didn't chew quite that hard.
But there's definitely
it was a little chewy, I will say.
For 15, it was a bit. It was like, whoa, really, girl?
She's
pushing him. Then we get back to the house, and I love the scene with Catherine where we're doing the yarn, and I'm saying let's have him to dinner, because you see Nellie openly manipulate her mother. It's intentional. It's not innocent. She's not like, oh, can we have the boy to dinner? He's really nice. She's like, I'm getting this boy to dinner. I'd like to have him to dinner. Oh, no, we don't know these people. And the Benitez Station. What is it? Well, he has this pig farm. I hear they're quite successful.
Where does he get his supplies?
I hear he sold a big farm, and he's buying a new one. I'm 15. Why do I have planned this, found this out, and I'm telling and she says, why haven't they been to the store? And I go, oh, they're probably going to need a lot of stuff and buy things from you, Mom. Hint, hint. I'm 15. Why would I say? I already know what my mother wants. My mother wants to be rich, and she wants him to buy stuff at the store. Yep. So I lay that. Oh yeah, they'll be buying stuff and manipulate her into saying yes, you can have them to dinner. And I'm like, thank you, Mother. It's terrifying. She's already figured out her mother's whole game and is doing it.
Well, and it is season 4.
Yes. So yes,
it is season 4.
Nellie Prime.
We know who everybody is now.
And is now going to work her like I want. I will get this.
Well, once again, the psychopath check marks are all checkity checking out. Yes, 1,000%.
Completely.
Yes, very manipulative. But she's, well, I'm going to say it as Dean says it. She's in heat. Let's put it that way. She is raring to go. Okay.
Yeah, it really is. Well, and Alison, you did it really. You did it. It was funny. Yes. You did it funny. You always do so much with your eyes. I mean, there's this intensity in your eyes, and of course you're fawning at the same time. It varies. It goes back and forth from sort of like dead on intention to lost in the haze of infatuation. I mean, it goes back and forth. It's just very watchable. What you did through the years continues to. I mean, as I watch it, and more, I am so impressed by what you did and how you did it, and you always kept there was always the humor alive in what you were doing. I think you fully understood what your flavor was that you were bringing to
this. This is one of the funniest episodes. There's several moments where I just laugh out
Me
loud
too.
at some of the stuff going on. Oh, and I just Marzik was only like 22, so okay. So
Still an adult. Still an
Guys,
Wait,
And
can
what
I
he had
ask
his
you-
his girlfriend on the set.
his girlfriend came to the set, and that was like another one of the weird moments. We were out in Simi, so we've been filming a couple days because I think we started at Paramount. And his girlfriend shows up, and it was weird because it was like, oh, my girlfriend. She was like, hello, I am his girlfriend. And I went, there was this vague thing of she wanted to be there for the romantic scenes. And I was like,
Yeah, she had to make sure everything was going to be
God,
okay.
what is that?
and I was like, does this grown
She's a kid.
does this woman think that I am a threat? To
Yes,
her? Like,
right.
Really, really 15-year-old pimply. I am a threat to your relationship. Wow, girl. No, I am not a threat to your relationship. I am not stealing your man. Wow. But it was there. Like,
But look, stranger things have happened on sets. I mean, come on. I mean, that stuff happens all the time. Now, I think our set was a pretty professional place. It's not to say that things didn't go on. But I think in that regard, I think people pretty much understood what the job was.
I was
and you were doing
15.
the job.
Yeah,
And
she
you're
was a
15.
kid.
Yeah.
A kid.
Yeah,
Wait,
yeah.
can I backtrack for 1 second? So, did you meet him before? Like, what did you audition with?
no-
Were you auditioning with any? No, he shows up
He
on
shows
set,
up.
and you're like, oh, this is the guy.
And I think we were like kissing the first day or something. You know, like,
Seriously.
hi.
Okay.
It was the walk in the dark and the kiss the first day.
No, thankfully it was not. But it was pretty quick. Maybe the second, maybe the day 2 or something. It's all out of order. It was pretty quick, but it's
Sure.
like, hi, introduce yourself, you're in love. Great, awesome. Now, Charlotte Stewart cheated.
She did.
Charlotte Stewart. So there was a whole casting thing, and they said it's between.
Oh, that's right.
guys.
They gave her an option.
This is
And
in
they
her
showed her
book.
these 2
Yeah.
hot guys, and she looked and said, "I went to college with him and actually dated him." She didn't tell them that. She went, "I think that one would be the one." She was like an ex-freaking boyfriend from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
we were watching this last night, and Catherine said, "Oh, I like this actor. She had followed his career a little bit, and she liked him. And I thought he had a really lovely quality about him.
Josh.
Great
Brolin,
hat too that
yes.
they put on him. He had a great hat.
And he just died last year. I did not know
Really?
that. Passed away last year, and he was living in France because Prairie.
Was he really?
He was in France, apparently. Yes.
Wow.
I thought I heard Bob Marzik was living in France too. Do we all move to France? Is that it? Are we all just going to move to France? I don't know what's happening.
Wow.
Lovely,
Anyways.
lovely man.
So let's keep moving
And
this.
but he was nice to work with, Alison.
Oh my God, yes. No, both of them were darling. That's the thing. I didn't. And that's the thing. We'll talk. In the Patreon we'll discuss what were my real feelings for this.
Got
guy.
it.
How did I
Okay.
get through the
Now when he comes, I want to jump to. Let's jump to the
ahead.
dinner
Let's do
scene because
it.
this is
Dinner, yes.
one of the funny scenes when he comes to dinner and Harriet, anticipating that this was going to be like the new wealthy family on the prairie,
Gentleman
gets
farmers.
the real dose of what he is.
A
Which
gentleman
happens
farmer.
a lot with
Gentleman
Mrs. Olson.
farmers.
Remember
Of course.
Tehune?
Yes.
the-
Oh yes,
she
right.
was-
Hester Sue. You're
The-
not
the
the
Tehune
something
family.
Tehune.
Yeah. No, we to Alabama Terhune. It was hysterical.
Oh my God.
That's her thing, assuming that it's wealthy. And
Well, that's just part of the that's part of the comeuppance that she's
takes the
getting
whole
all
course.
the time.
And-
Of course, she has to be appalled.
He takes the cake, cut 5 slices, and then he takes the roast and says, "My pa said I should only take 1 slice."
Love that.
other half.
Love that. What he took? What he
And
took
most of the
5
potatoes.
pounds of beef.
The whole roast. And I just like, he's a growing boy. They're taking all but I'm like, I love him. He eats. He's a good boy. This scene afterwards, when we're courting in the parlor, has one of my favorite lines in the episode and one of my favorite pieces of dialogue of all time, of anything I've ever been in, and I cry with laughter. It's a subtle throwaway thing. We had one of those. All the rage back then, stereoscopic, the Viewmaster,
Sort of the
1800.
Right.
The Viewmaster, the original Viewmaster.
Right. Your pop-it thing has 2 photos and it has a thing, but you look down the middle and it's 3D. It's great. And they had a real one on the set, and it was awesome. I was playing with it for hours. This is great. And I hand him the slide. And he puts it in, and I completely deadpan say, "You'll like this one. It has pigs in it."
Yeah.
I will never stop laughing at that. Ever. Ever. It's the greatest line. I'm trying to think of anything I've ever said and anything I've ever done that was that freaking funny. So I'm just
So I'm sorry. Was that, and that was written?
Yes,
that was written
it was.
that way.
And I was absolutely dying. I was on the floor. This is the funniest thing anyone's ever said, ever.
This episode is truly funny. Like, I literally laughed out loud several times in this episode.
I love that one.
Funny.
Notice I'm wearing high heels. Notice I'm wearing the cute little high heel boots.
Okay.
Not
That's
making
exactly what I wanted to talk about
see
next.
that.
Was the costume department was on its game in this episode, because not only I did notice your shoes, Alison, but Miss
Women
Beadle's-
always notice shoes.
Oh, the
Girls, we
blouse
need the
Miss
shoes.
Beadle ends up wearing in the last scene too when she gets married. That blue with the there are cutouts in it, and it's just blouse. And Ms. Oleson, I also noticed in the parlor scene, it was either the parlor scene, that first parlor scene, or the dinner scene, she's wearing these gold dangly earrings also that I've never really noticed her wear, and they were gorgeous. Gorgeous.
Catherine brought in.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Olsen was?
Yes,
Catherine
yes.
brought in her own
wow.
jewelry.
Wow.
They had some Mrs. Olsen jewelry that was
Shoes,
stunning
jewelry,
antiques that
missed.
they brought in, and she brought in a lot of her own. And I think the dangly, I think those were.
Oh, they
Catherine's.
were
I think she-
stunning, and it for some reason they really stood out to me, because first of all they were beautiful, and then I had never noticed that she wore earrings before, which she does in the show. But
we are so pretty in this episode. I noticed that my
So
makeup and my clothes, they went for, we're going to make this girl pretty this week for sure. I've got a little extra lip stuff. I want that.
Well, now something I did notice, is that you had a lot more shape in the, they are presenting you with shape.
They put
a
in
young
this.
lady.
There's the
Yes.
ruching on the flower dress. It's a light color. I think it would be called fawn if it's in this dress with the roses, but it's pulled up at the sides, kind of a ruching thing with little flower clumps.
Yeah.
I love that dress, and I look really.
I don't know how it works, but their shape.
And they're all, and when they were little, they were shapy. And then also I was 15. I'm up until 14. Oh, yeah, no, 14.
No shape.
I could have gone out riding my bicycle with no shirt up until 14. And then somewhere around 14, late 14, early 15, all hell broke loose. And it's all there on camera. Suddenly it's like, wow, okay, she did. Puberty high. And it's like, and we were front and center girls. We were there.
We were there.
Yeah, but it's great that they designed for that to just add to the fun of that. Something that's a huge piece of this episode, and I talk about it a lot when we talk about, but David Rose's score in this episode with the fiddle and the jaw harp and the whole thing is just a riot, and the picking up on classical themes that he uses through this.
Rites of Spring kicks in.
And it's sweet. It's so sweet and romantic and lovely and a little corny.
So
where immediately where this episode's going when we first start.
Twangy, and then the big strings like I love sweet.
When you're running slow-mo in the field.
Oh my God!
And
yes,
he
through the
is
mustard.
barefoot in that field. I wonder if he had protection on those soles of his feet.
They
He
put
had
protection.
to
They
have.
did.
He
They
had
had a
to.
thing. They had a spray-on, stick-on thing. They did. They put things on the bottom of his feet.
Well, it's the same. Mitch Vogel had the same
exactly.
thing. I mean, it's like they
Little
sprayed on
thing on there.
They figured out how to do that with Mitch. So
Yeah.
The music, at some points, it's almost going to go into "Ah, Sweet Mystery of Life. At Last I Found You." You can hear this, you go, "Oh, I think it's pretending to be that." And then when we are at the honeymoon, when we get there, is that the stripper? Are they playing?
It's two little phrases that remind you of that. It's not too heavy duty.
Nope.
The way you'd always described it, I was imagining we were going to hear the full-on thing. Obviously, we don't do, but you know exactly where David, and he does it not for you, but for him.
And it's the wah-wah music because David was at the stripper, so he knew how to do that. So there's this wah-wah suddenly kicks in. And then and then it's gone, and it's romantic.
Yes,
and then
right.
It's
It's
big
just
strings
there.
and piano. Da, 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 da. Yeah. But they made me pretty, and I'm wearing heels, so I'm a grown-up, because little girls wear Mary Jane's or the little boots. Grown-up ladies have the little heels.
Well, that was big Laura's big turning point too in Sweet 16, where the
Real shoes.
the little boot that sort of changed
in
everything.
The buggy. Yeah.
That's being a woman on the prairie. They let you wear boots with heels.
It's a heel does the whole. I mean, it does it.
Although I would think a heel on the prairie would be very impractical, but I get it.
Totally,
it was
totally impractical with gopher holes and all the things that were going on out there. I mean, it was just an ankle turn waiting to happen.
Yes.
Okay, and the first rebellion is after dinner when, of course, Mrs. Oleson freaks out and says, Clodhopper, she calls it.
She calls him all kinds of things.
She sure does.
And there's a Catherine moment again, and it's Nellie's first rebellion. Up until then is a whole lot of yes, mother, and it's the first time when she says you can't, and I suddenly I talk back to her. Remember in the 1800s, you didn't
amazing
back to your parents. They said do this, you said yes, ma'am. I went why in the whiniest teenage voice ever recorded in history. Why? And she flips out, and then I've talked about this before. Okay, things Catherine did acting wise that you're not supposed to do. Directing the other actors, changing the lines randomly as you see, suddenly deciding you need a prop and eating an apple in people's face. She did one of the things she did that they would tell you in any acting class, never do this, would be to say the actor's line back to them and imitate them. That would be unspeakable anymore.
But it's so great the way she does it.
I know, and it's so her character to do that.
I go, why? She goes, why?
Oh my God, it's so freaking funny.
Great.
And it
great.
is
so funny.
And it's brilliant, and it's what Mrs. Oleson would do, and it also she knew it would keep it going. We want to make the other person mad, so that it's a knockdown drag out, and of course she would do that, so it made sense. But normally you're taken out and shot at sunrise for that sort of thing. It's just not. You don't do that to people.
So
all right, let's jump ahead to the ring. Or when you want to talk?
I just wanted to say. So when you guys sort of rehearsed the scene or whatever, ran through the lines before you shot it, did she do that during rehearsal? No, it was a surprise.
She's like, I'm doing this.
Oh, great.
It's more rebellion where I go, no, I don't care, I rebel, and then she has other great lines in the show.
That's later.
Everyone has our ambitions in life, and mine, Nellie, is not to see you grow up to be
Miss
Queen.
The pig queen of
and
Minnesota.
I have fans who've come
Minnesota
to my
Pig
table
Queen. Oh my
and brought
God!
me a T-shirt that says Minnesota Pig Queen with a piggy and a big.
That's awesome.
So yes.
Oh my God, merch idea. Okay.
The rebellion,
that's
the brilliant dialogue. We just coon hunting. What we go coon hunting? What is happening in the show? We go hunting. I went hunting in that.
Right. Well, there's multiple scenes about that set up the fact that you are sneaking around with this guy.
We are going out at night. I am going out the window or something, and we're going out at night.
And Nels doesn't seem to have any big problems with this.
No, he's fine.
We're dating. None of the
dads. Sort of interesting.
Because Luke's dad is like, well, they're kids, people being what they are, love being what it is, they're probably going to get hitched. The dads are both like, yeah, we saw this coming, and we what? And the mother's
that's just so not. But again, serving the drama
right
as it needs to be served. I mean, it just tells you can do absolutely anything if you commit to it.
That's certainly been my philosophy.
Yeah,
that's your motto. Yeah.
Now the ring is because it's my birthday. He says the corn shucking, and because for my birthday. Oh my God, I have a birthday. Nellie's birthday. The time is never mentioned. I think it was my birthday when I came back to visit. Apparently, the real Nellie Owens was August 2nd, and you do go corn shucking often in August and September.
Well, I would think so because that's when the corn is coming in.
Corn shucking, so that could maybe they did go with that it was August.
Interesting,
but
it is perpetual summer on the prairie.
And corn shucking is the thing. And what in the heck when he said, "I'm going on my birthday," and I go, "I'm grown now. I'm almost a woman again." Like,
right.
You're 15. Stop that. You're 15. What are you doing?
Yes, but she has boobies now. That's the thing.
The montage.
I'm making Dean blush.
The montage, because we have both Miss Beadle and her man montage, and then we have a montage.
Yes, the parallel structure is really fun.
I watch him chopping wood like Pa, and then we run down
and you can tell this young man has never thrown an axe in his life.
Oh my God, no, right? Was he terrible?
I just have to say, he has never thrown an axe in his life.
He was so. I worried that he was going to hurt himself.
Really? Oh my gosh, I did not notice
He's
that
just.
at all.
Whoa!
Oh no, you can tell. You can tell when a guy knows how to swing an axe, or use a shovel, or you just know. And he had never done that before.
Yeah. Even I was like, okay, hope he doesn't get off his foot. I like, yeah.
Good for him. He was very game. Good for him. And notice Bill framed this, or Buzz Boggs framed this, so you never actually saw where the axe was making contact with the wood, because you just don't want to see that.
This is a disaster. Now, we run down that hill, and I just want to say, for people who watched that scene closely where I ran down that hill, yes, I believe this was the time that Richeline and Wardrobe spoke to me about having a more supporting bra.
God.
I'm just saying, gravity, things move when you run down a hill.
There you go. And we don't want too much movement on the prairie.
It was Teens Gone Wild, Walnut Grove. It was some kind of
But now I want to get that's post the kiss. I want to talk about the fact that after the ring is bought, and you've watched Luke and Mary come out, you're furious. You go back into the store. Your mother tells you buying an engagement ring for Mary.
She's not even a friendship ring. She goes, "Oh, it's an engagement ring," out of nowhere, because she's stirring the pot. And how well do I do jealous rage? Just may I say?
Well,
yes,
men are as fickle as weather vanes, she says. To which you respond,
"Shut up!"
That was so good.
That really sort of came out of the intensity of that. Really came out of left field for me. I wasn't expecting that kind
to boil when I see him and Mary, and I go, what? And they're clearly leaving together, and I do a jealous rage. I stare at them, and it's like, I am going to go boil someone's bunny. I am mad. I am jealous. The jealous, boiling, insane rage starts happening, and then I go in, and then my mother. Because it's Mrs. Oleson, she has to ruin everything for everybody through the pot.
Of course.
Oh, this is engagement. Yeah, you totally bought it for her. Yeah, totally. And then that's it. I'm going to kill somebody, and it's shut up.
Yeah, and also, P.S. You're a 15-year-old girl, and it's your mother. So that makes sense just on that point.
Oh, it came out. And I felt it was very
the things that young women go through. I mean, this is very sort of a realistic moment. The things that young women go through with their mothers. Fathers and sons don't have that kind of, but there's something about a young woman and her mother, that dynamic of that separation that's taking place at that time where independence is being claimed. That can be some knockdown, drag out stuff. I saw it in my family. It's real. And as sons in the family, we never acted out like that. Just didn't do that.
Sons and fathers get competitive. Sometimes there's a little dysfunction you hear about, like, usually it's a sports thing. It'll be settled with sports. Let's go shoot some hoops, son. And
Sure. But our father never, deliberately pounded us on the basketball court.
Right.
We didn't do that.
Because he was a decent brother. There's occasionally father. It depends on the age. Now, my parents were older, which was probably good, because what happens is often, if the mother is a typical age, often she is now heading into perimenopause or menopause right when the girl is hitting puberty. And these are two terrible physical states that you don't want two people going through at the same time in the same building. And if the mother has any issues ever, the shred of an issue she hasn't dealt with, and she's now on her way out of that particular zone as Miss Smarty Pants is coming into the zone, and if the girl is cute, it can get ugly. It can get just ugly. And any psychological underlying issues come flying out of it.
Well, and to add on top of that, your first love, your first experiences, and just both social experiences as well as romantic experience. I mean, everything is just so super heightened. It's just
of course.
The pinnacle.
Oh my God, you're in love forever. It's that's going to be that's it. This is the guy. This is the one.
Mom is just hitting the age where she may be even questioning her life choices. She may be at the point going, should I have married this guy? And the girl's going, I'm going to get married.
We get that moment from Nels later in the episode.
Exactly.
We are going into such detail here, and we are burning clock crazy. Let's get to the kiss, because the kiss is you. So you're upset. He comes with flowers. you go, he tells you he's there for you. You are completely
I get the ring. I'm like,
bought and paid for. You get the ring. You can't believe it's a sweet moment when you get the ring, and then you're going to go to the corn shucking contest. You may be late, and you end up under the stars, and you have a moment.
And
Tell us about the moment.
Big smooch. And we have the Love American style opening credits. Fireworks, stock footage of fireworks used behind us, which I'm sure was from Love American style. Because it's ancient stock footage of fireworks that went off 20 years ago that were pulled up. And when we did it, that was all shot indoors because we didn't really night.
Sure, of course. You could tell it was the stage.
It was, on stage. Like at, I think it was at MGM by then. We're on the stage and we're on the back porch there in the Mercantile. And they did do a lighting effect. While we kissed, they had gels on a couple lights, a little red and blue, so you could, like, as if the fireworks were shining down upon us. And it was lovely. It was so much fun. And
so was the girlfriend there watching?
Oh God, yeah. And now I'd like to say
this was the scene because this was the only kiss, right?
No, we had 2 kisses.
Okay.
We had 2 kisses. We had like a little kiss, and then this was the big kiss because we're like going to get married. We're like, and this was the big lip lock and the hug, and it was so crazy because I'd like to say my
all right. Had you kissed anyone before this?
I had. I was 15.
Because you did that with a certain amount of confidence.
Yeah. I was also like, I'm in. I'll sure I'm gonna kiss this guy. I had kissed a boy before, but my parents also didn't come down to the set to watch me kiss a guy.
Yes, well, good for them.
Annie Mary was on the set, but she was somewhere having a cup of coffee nearby and did not feel the need to sit and stare at me while I kissed a boy. My parents said, we think you're quite capable of kissing a boy without assistance. I'm sure you'll manage. It's fine.
Yeah. Good for them. Good for them. It's again at that moment with the flashing of fireworks.
So beautiful.
This is the end of Act 2. It's a very, very sweet moment, and it's romantic, it's sweet, it's innocent, it's all those things that you would want that moment to be, and it's got that little tinge of humor, like this is a little odd, but it's really fun. And it's sweet.
I'm kind of goofy teen too. I mean, they've made me pretty, and I'm clearly grown up enough to kiss a boy, but I'm a little goofy. I was watching when he finally gives me the ring, and I go into shock, and I'm like, what? And I went, I look like Bud Cort. I look like Bud Cort from Harold and Maude if he was from
one of the great May-September romances ever filmed.
And I worship Bud Cort. It's
great. So is Bud Cort still around?
I hope so. I don't know. Oh God, I have to check.
I mean, I just thinking back to that movie and all the Cat Stevens music and Ruth Gordon, and it's just like, oh my God, it was just brilliant.
Still kicking at 77. Yay! My mom was in a movie with him, got his autograph for me, and yes, he was delightful. He's a lovely person.
Well,
yes, I watched that and I go, why do I look like Bud Cort?
Oh, Harold, stop it.
Harold? Yes, it's like a little weird. But yeah, they're a little goofy. She's a little goofy because she's Nellie, and she's like, love, what? And then he's just, horror. So they're lovely. They're perfect. They should be together.
No, it's perfect. Let's just take a quick break.
When you visit Simi Valley, California, you're stepping into the pages of history. Go from the pioneers to the presidents. Explore beautiful wildflowers, hike through iconic Hollywood locations, and end your day aboard the actual Air Force One at the Ronald Reagan Presidential Library and Museum. Throughout the summer, take the Little House 50th Anniversary Tour at Big Sky Movie Ranch. Less than 15 minutes from Los Angeles and 30 minutes from Universal Studios, Simi Valley has small-town charm with big-time history. Go to visitsimivalley.com for more information. We are so grateful to visitsimivalley.com for their commitment to presenting the Little House 50th Anniversary podcast.
We're starting Act 3, so I love the romantic run through the mustard. We talked about that. We determined that there was some sort of material on young Luke's feet.
Yes, and needed more material on young Alison something.
I was there for that, and then I think I cut out right after.
And that was And, you know, as much as that looked romantic and fun running through the mustard, that would not have been
it's
fun.
a huge
because
pain in the butt doing that.
Yeah, the mustard is not fun to run through it. So it's got a little stickiness to it and all that. The next scene after this running through the mustard is, I love this. It's like Miss Beadle chasing pigs.
I know.
In the pen. It's like, really?
I know.
Miss Beadle is chasing pigs.
And thinking it's hilarious and how romantic and sweet.
Charlotte was on a farm as a child, so Charlotte was like, yes, little animals. But Charlotte was like, Charlotte loves animals, and she grew up on a farm.
But you're never going to catch the pig, which of course was the point.
No.
But,
and there's
but I love, and then he's sitting there, he's sitting there laughing.
Girl for him.
Adam is sitting there. Adam and Eva love that. Sitting there laughing at all this. And then we get, so they're chasing the pigs, and then we get to see Luke chop wood looking like he's never done that before. And then we go to the picnic, and Eva and Adam walk away. And
where's Mrs. Oleson? How did we get on that picnic? How are we on a picnic?
Yeah.
Did I just say I'm leaving with Miss Beadle and her boyfriend? And Luke's
somebody lied about something.
How did we sneak out? We snuck out.
Classic teenager.
Again, serving the drama. We're just oblivious where we need to be and very on it when we need to be. But yes, you're there eating watermelon in the mustard.
That part was good. Because, see me, it's hot. We got to sit around and eat watermelon. It was awesome. Running down the hill, as you know, it's all rocks and gopher holes.
Yeah,
we almost fell several times. It was unpleasant.
Now, a location thing here. This is really fun. At where Adam and Eva walk up to the pond, that's actually the little house.
Yeah, right there.
Hinged out of the frame right is it's right there.
If they
and of course it's all dressed with the lilies and the whole thing, and I love it. It's just dry as a bone 50 yards back, but they're there by this pond. The spigot had been turned on, the water is babbling down Plum Creek, and he proposes at that point, and of course he calls himself a stupid pig farmer, and Adam Charlotte has to sort of prop him up and tell him he's wonderful.
Charlotte is quite lovely. I mean, she's so good.
Charlotte's a wonderful actress. She's a wonderful
so good.
actress.
Also, I'd like to add that Miss Beadle also had her little plans of how should. I'll go to his house and I'll talk to him.
Yes, right, of course.
Like,
girl, lion too.
Yeah.
I'll go talk to the boy's father.
Yeah.
And I love. So then they get the proposal in, and there's a little kiss there, and it's very sweet. And Luke and Nellie are watching, and Luke talks about the fact, I think my dad's getting ready to get married again. He liked being married. He and my mom were so happy together, which is a really sweet thing. When you have a child wants to see his father be happy, knows that this is a good thing, knows that he was always happy before. I think that's
not worried
that's
about
a nice thing.
The stepmom, because it's Miss Beadle. She's cool. Yeah. Miss Beadle's wonderful. She'll be fun. And hey, they're a very loving, functional family. And the father's like, I raised him alone, but he's been great with him.
And then in the next breath, I think we should get hitched.
Yeah, because sure, because
and you say, oh, I don't know if I'm old enough, don't know if I know enough to be a wife, and not sure if I'm good enough for you.
Now, sweet. Because I have some brain cells left.
I know.
No, I'm not getting married, you weirdo. And wait, I'm also Nellie Oleson. I just remembered. Why are you marrying me? Yes.
No, I think I think you're being a little hard on yourself there. I think you're really. That's like a real moment of honesty there, where you're saying, I'm not sure I'm old enough. I'm not sure I know enough to be a wife.
I know.
And I'm not sure I'm good enough for you.
It's I come from a dysfunctional family. My mother's taught me nothing. I don't know how to cook or do any wifey stuff, and I don't know. I have no idea. I come from a bunch of disturbed, narcissistic lunatics, so maybe I'd be terrible in a marriage.
But didn't he also say, like, nonsense, my mom was younger than you when she got married?
Exactly.
I was like,
no.
Yeah, and then which then after Miss Beadle is accepted, been proposed to. Then there is the wonderful scene in the schoolyard. It's a parallel scene where you come and ask about marriage, and she gives you the advice, or she's responding for herself, but it's really for you as far as you're concerned. And off we go.
Because she was worried about, what about my age? So it's the age shouldn't make it.
Yeah, age doesn't, when love shouldn't, yes.
When I was on the swing crying, when she did come to me, and I am, again, it's teenage, seething, I am a miserable teenager. There's the Nellie fake cry.
Yeah.
There's the Nellie crying.
Yes.
And then there's just it's that crying.
I'm going to be an old maid like you.
You did something with that cry.
Thank you.
With your lower lip, and I was thinking, does she have a retainer in her lower lip, or
I
is she hiding braces?
Adonis wax on my braces.
Did you put
I think
wax
you did.
on
I
it?
could see it in the side view. You can see
a lot of
You're
wax, 'cause I had
holding your
no-
bottom lip like this, which might have just been tension from crying.
But
I was like,
combined
what
with,
is
'cause
happening?
I had braces from here to here and here back, so the wax would go like right here, and across here. And it was probably we've been adding all day. Who knows how much I had in there by that time of the day. And then and I didn't want it to show. And then also so the combination, I was like,
yes. It was very odd, but it also completely served the. It totally served the yes. Yeah. Okay, should we take a break? And when we come back,
we did take a break.
We're almost
We took a break while you were taking a break.
Jeez
so
Louise.
we're continuing. No, we're continuing on. So
Great.
Yeah, no,
I
that's
hope
fine.
It was a good break.
It was a good break.
Great.
But not as good as it would have been if you'd been there.
Oh, thanks, Steve.
right?
Yeah.
Okay,
So
Willy rats me out.
yes,
Willy,
right.
you know,
You've left him the
Well,
buckboard.
he eventually rats you out. I mean, he really didn't.
Nobody
rat you
asked.
out.
Why didn't you
it's
tell
just-
us you knew? Nobody asked.
Why
he
didn't
couldn't
you
have
tell
cared
us?
less.
You didn't ask me.
He couldn't have cared less.
You asked me.
He was probably happy
Yes, I
to
saw
see her
him
go.
leaving in the wagon. And I just noticed in rewatching, and I don't even remember this at the time, if I noticed at the time, when they get there, and they left in our buckboard, we stole my parents' car.
Sure
Yes.
did. Sure did.
Yeah.
And I ran away
Yeah.
with a 22-year-old guy, but we technically stole my mom's car to do it because we left with the Olson's buckboard. I stole my parents' car.
My high school boyfriend used to steal his parents' car and then come and pick me up, and I'd be paranoid the
Seriously?
entire time. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
In New York? In New York? In New York?
In New Jersey. In New Jersey.
In New Jersey.
My husband stole his parents' car, but got caught in the driveway. trying to
In the driveway?
Yeah, so he
In
got
his
caught.
driveway or your
Yes.
driveway?
No, his driveway.
His driveway.
When he was a teenager.
That's right, when he was a kid.
Teenagers
Okay, got
are
it.
so dumb, y'all. They're so dumb. I mean, their brains do not form, and our brains don't fully form until we're 25. They're so dumb. Anyway.
Which leads us to the
dumbest
justice of the
moment.
peace in Sleepy Eye, and really one of the wonderful fun scenes in this
The
show.
best.
The marriage
is a
scene.
laugh
So
riot.
Ivor.
let's talk about Ivor Francis, who is really one of the wonderful character actors
Everything
of his time.
IMDb is like 10,000 pages. He was in everything. But what's really weird is if you look him up, there was a television show in the 1960s called Here Come the Brides. It was really cute. Bobby Sherman, I think. Yes, I think. And Ivor was in an episode of Here Come the Brides, and his name was Barnum. Do you know what he's credited as his name being in this episode called Here Come the Brides?
What?
No.
Varnum.
Varnum. That's right. That's Varnum. Yes.
Michael Landon going, I don't, what?
Wow.
Wow.
I mean, it's just, it's such a funny, and Luke,
Genius.
because you didn't have much to say other than I do, but he played that
Perfect.
really, really
Perfect.
nicely. That dumb, the ring,
Yes, put the ring on this finger and say, with this
And-
ring,
and
I think,
nobody-
can you do that?
Stop
Sure.
I go, stop that! That's what I do. Touching each other.
No, this was a little gem piece of casting with this actor, and he got to play this runner. There were 3 back-to-back scenes where he's being woken up out of a sound sleep,
And it's hilarious every
and
time.
it's very, very solid. And
So good.
yeah, between the two of you, and then Harriet and Nels, and then the return for the annulment, which is well, we don't want to jump through the. We don't want to return for the annulment.
The first wedding. I mean,
okay.
the first ceremony.
Okay, go then. Talk about that.
Of Luke and Nellie, which is hilarious. Also, this humor with the judge, all the judge scenes. I mean, again, I didn't know Michael Landon personally, but it does sound like Michael Landon humor, right? Like completely and utterly Michael Landon jokes, Michael Landon timing. Yeah, with the comedy. Okay, so y'all get hitched, and again, what do I do with the ring? You just put it on this finger and say, with this ring I win. Can you do that? Well, sure I can. And he puts it on the judge's
her finger,
ring.
you idiot.
Yeah. So dumb. I'm like, and then as soon as the ceremony is over, what happens? What do we do now?
Hotel.
We're getting a room.
Bow chicka bow bow.
And they actually have the 1800s version of Bow Chicka Bow Bow, which is this wah wah wah, which is David Rose kind of doing the stripper kind of thing, and the clothes going over that gorgeous antique screen. I want one that gorgeous, and the clothes going over the thing, and then we're nervous.
And then you come out with this. Like,
why am I so nervous? Because I wasn't too nervous when I said you
really weren't nervous when he was like, I guess
I was so not nervous all the way up to then, but then it's like. She is 15, and it's like, oh, wait, I'm in a hotel room with a strange dude, and I'm married. Yike, wait, what am I doing here? And the panic sets in.
With the sleep cap on and
all that.
Nothing sexy about this bedroom right now.
And he in the long
johns, and then he goes behind the screen.
And I got this thing on my head that is hysterical with the hairdo. The curls are up in it's my real hair because just tie my hair up in the little rags and then he's in the long john. So we look really silly. The music is wah 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 wah, very silly music, romantic with the
with the jaw harp is just classic. I mean, that tells you everything about wherever this is.
But we're going to go through with it. We do love each other. I'm like, well, I guess this is it. Okay. Yeah. Thank God. And then the door kicks in, and Catherine's greatest line in history. Nels,
make her a widow. Yeah. It's classic. And then she has a couple of those throughout the series. There are a couple of those kinds of hysterical moments where she and Nels are. I'm trying to think. There's a wonderful moment, I think, with Nels in an episode. Dabs Greer is in the scene, and she calls Nels a wretch. And but it's the same energy. She brings that same kind of, and they wrestle with the gun, and the gun goes off. And
her and them guns, we did it in the Kezia one. She starts screaming, "Shoot, shoot!" and I get to say, "You've got the gun." I mean,
right. That's it. That's it.
It's like you don't. That's it. Catherine rifles.
I also want to take note. Maybe this happened earlier when Nels and Mrs. Oleson and Harriet are in the bedroom. And she says he does another classic rhyming thing, which she says, "Ugh, you never had any taste." And he says, "You're right." And she says, "What?" He goes, "Good night."
Right. Yes, he does it. Those are hysterical. It is so hysterical. I love those.
Okay, so the gun goes off.
He runs out.
He runs.
Son, what are you doing in your long johns? Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Nice. And then we all go back, and that poor man is like, what does he say? What does Walnut Grove have against me?
Right. So then they all go in.
That was not a legal divorce. Just tearing up the piece of paper.
Right, just tearing it up, but it served
might not have been a legal wedding, wasn't a legal divorce. But
exactly.
15 age of consent in 1874. Minnesota.
I mean, apparently.
Maybe.
It must have been.
Could someone have said yes in 1880 something at 15 years old?
I mean, 15. I mean, God, I think there's some states now where 14 with parents' permission. I think, which is like that.
Right, in
but
Utah,
it's
maybe.
terrible. But there's places. But I don't know. In those days, 15 could have absolutely been marriageable.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I think there's no doubt that people were married at that age.
And maybe not in Minnesota. No, I don't know. But that's the thing. So was it a legal wedding to begin with? And then it was a legal divorce. So it's all like, well, it's all over. I don't know. I committed bigamy when I married Percival. I don't know what just happened.
That might be the scandal, the secret scandal.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, okay, so he tears up the paper, but then Adam and Eva say,
Adam and Eva, and I love that. Are you kidding me? Adam and Eva, there's yet another run of fun moments.
And here's my favorite line in the episode, which is so Adam and Eve are getting married, and they say, Luke, will you be my best man? Nellie, will you be my, maid of honor? And he goes, okay, you go here. You go here.
Where do you want me?
Where do I go?
You want me? He goes, you don't want to know.
He says, Mrs. says, where would you like me to go? And he says, I'd rather not stay. Oh, I died. Yes.
I died too. I literally guffawed out loud on that one. So good.
And then my beautiful, and now ex-husband, we sneak and hold hands by.
Yes, you're holding hands by, which is a lovely moment.
And then we never see him again.
Yes. Now, was that the end
He entered the vortex, y'all.
He went
the
away
vortex
with Reverend Alden's wife and all the other.
He's
that
in the
girl
vortex.
With one short leg shorter than the other, Olga. They also
Olga.
The other.
Yeah, he's in that vortex of one-hit wonders on Little House on the Prairie.
That stuttering girl, she moved in with him too, I guess.
But it's a very, once that there's and everyone's very amicable. This marriage has just taken place. There's hugging, kissing, fade to black.
Yeah,
and
happy.
That's the end. And end credit. And there are episodes that do end that way, where you literally get the moment that you're looking for, and it's over.
Right.
That's it. Yeah, that was it. We got all the moments.
That was it.
We got all the moments, and then it was done.
Yeah.
Although, do we ever see, because Miss Beadle is still, she finishes out season 4.
Yeah,
right.
So
she's Mrs. Sims. She's Mrs. Sims.
She turns into Mrs. Sims, and then do we ever see him?
I don't think we ever see him again.
We don't ever see him again.
No.
Why?
That would have been not. Well, look, it's a budgetary
You have
thing.
to pay
Yeah,
them.
I'm sure. We didn't need him.
You're just not going to do
We
that.
just didn't want to give them any more money.
Yeah.
And they would have quite
I get not seeing Luke again, but to not see Adam again.
Their agents quite rightly would have said, "Wow, is he a recurring now?
Of course,
husband." Oh, and then so it wouldn't have been a one episode pay or a day player or a guest star fee. It would now be a recurring fee, which would be significantly more money. And
he could have been. Look, he could have been recurring. Kevin Hagen was recurring.
They did that. A lot of regulars were,
which is amazing.
Which is
he
weird.
was recurring. He never had a contract.
But I don't know.
Kevin
I think
Hagen
it was like
never
Gabs
had a
and
contract.
everybody. I think like half the town. Because when they first started, this isn't going anywhere. And do you want to sign a contract? Why don't you just be recurring? I'll be recurring.
So was that a point of contention with those actors?
Later,
of course it was.
That's crazy.
Of course it was.
Kevin said at the time he thought, oh, sure, because they didn't think it was going to go anywhere initially. And it was like, do you want to do a whole contract on how many years and be tied down? Or would you like to be recurring? Because remember, they're character actors and they worked all the time.
Of course.
And at the time, Kevin said, yes, when I first did it, I went, oh, yeah, we don't need all that. It'll be recurring because ha, 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 ha. He says, then after a couple of years, it was like, that wasn't really such a good decision, maybe. And then he said, 100 years later, he went, what was I, an idiot? Why did I not ask?
So
Demand.
sad.
I asked for a contract. We kept with recurring. I should have insisted on contract day one when I had a chance at it because I would have made significantly more.
Yeah, but knowing what we know, I wonder actually what his real chances of getting a contract would have been.
I think it would have been very minimal.
It would have
I think very minimal.
Fine.
I think that Michael had a very, very particular set of standards about all of that.
Yeah.
And everything was based on call sheet numbers.
Yeah.
And that's, those contracts were very, very few.
Yeah.
Very few.
Yeah, Kevin talked about that, and there was like an Inquirer thing like, oh, I didn't make enough money. And he's like, no, I didn't want it to be mean. I'm just saying, he said, yeah, he should have paid me more money. He says, but I'm the idiot who went, oh, yeah, that's a great idea. I'll be recurring. He said, I thought that made sense, and I was really wrong. And he said, for future young people, get the contract.
And with that, with Adam Sims disappearing into the vortex, that's our time. I think we need to run for the exit here.
He went away to France and lived happily ever after.
Yes.
Where he's lived happily ever after.
He did great.
Yeah.
Okay, I loved this episode. This was so much fun revisiting this episode. Alison, you rock. So good.
No, really, Alison, just outstanding. Really outstanding, and it just works and works and works.
And on Patreon, you will talk
details about
details.
We'll talk more.
All right, everybody. That's it for this week's episode. Thank you so much for joining us. Join us on our socials, Little House 50 Podcast, website, littlehouse50podcast.com. Also, in our show notes, there will be all the resources that you need for all of the events that are happening with Little House on the Prairie. It's all going to be there, so just enjoy and join everybody. And we'll see you next time. Bob, get the wig. Let's fly.